That fly is getting on my nerves.
Mm.
Come back this way. Big on. Big on, fly.
What? Is it that easy? You just talk to them. I've been doing it wrong all this time. I've been trying to squish them.
Yeah, flies just leave when you ask. Did you not know that?
Christ.
I've got the powers.
You just.
You know that film The Fly?
Yeah.
That's about me.
So you're gonna turn into a massive.
No, I did. That's why I got the powers.
Oh, alright.
They embellished the story slightly to make it more dramatic for the cinema, to make it more like, oh, he becomes a fly man. No, I just got the ability to tell flies to get out of the house. Worked out well for me. Didn't work out that well for Jeff Goldblum.
No, right. Oh, well, yeah. It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time.
Hello and welcome to the 17th ever
A
Wonderful Waste of Time podcast.
I'm a bit of a... Oh. There was just a little bit of wonderful waste of time.
There was some emotion.
Yeah. Trying to what's the word? Seduce them.
Do like a what's it called? ASMR videos. Have you ever seen those?
No.
Where it's somebody talking really quietly, really close to the microphone.
Oh, okay.
And some people get like
slightly
aroused by it.
Oh, they talk about it in particular.
People are like, oh, it makes me feel like kind of tingly, and I like it. Like, you mean sexually? You do not mean anything other than sexually, surely.
Where are these tingles?
It doesn't work on everyone. It only supposedly works on some people, because I've listened to them and it does nothing to me. I prefer the opposite. It's not the right person. I prefer people further away from a microphone shouting as loud as they can. Ooh! I'm like, oh yes.
Give me more decibels.
The people who do ASMR videos, and that is what it's called, isn't it? ASMR. But they'll do it really quietly and like narrate things, so they'll just be doing normal stuff. Yeah. But it'll be like.
And autonomous sensory meridian
SG is looking through his tablet there. That's really nice. He's scrolling down the page. Oh.
You start talking noises like that in there. It's a bit like...
I found that rather humorous. Oh. Yeah, but that kind of thing. Some people are into that.
Cool. Well, maybe we should just try more introductions. Maybe people...
You know what else we should do? My name is Chris Draylite, and with me, as always, is...
SG.
This is the Wonderful Waste of Time podcast, the show where we look a little bit deeper into the things we like, love, or hate.
Yes.
That's my slogan now. I like saying it like that.
Tagline.
Tagline.
Yeah.
Slogan's the same thing.
I don't know. Slogan
sounds a bit like corporate.
Catchphrasey. Yeah.
Well, it is catchphrasey.
Yeah.
It was a catchphrase.
Tagline Okay, so what is this podcast about?
So what we do is we spin a wheel to find out which one of us is talking, and then we'll be picking. Then we'll spin another wheel to get a topic, and then we'll pick something from that to talk about. So,
granted, we're not dizzy.
Do you want to do like an ASMR style, like ticking for the wheel this week?
See, I'll rate this. Go on.
Lean into the microphone.
Right, yeah.
I'm ready?
I'm in. Yeah, go on.
Go. Ooh. Bit louder. Nice. I'm fully aroused. That's you.
I'm more worried.
That's you, both who it's landed on and why I'm aroused.
I'm more worried because halfway through that you was like louder. It's like
louder. Say my name.
I feel like I've been used.
Are you ready? Do it again.
I don't know. You ready? God.
Slower. Look at me while you do it.
Stop that, Will!
Stop! Films.
Oh, man.
It's movie time.
What? Cool. Right. This is just this. Actually, I've always wanted to talk about this. Have you watched Bridge to Terabithia?
I have. Yeah, I watched it the other day. Actually.
Oh right, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I watched it a couple of weeks ago. I missed quite a bit of it, unfortunately.
I mean, it's been a while since I've watched it, but the basic premise of it is little kid moves to a new area. I believe it is.
It's like quite a big. No, it's not him that moves, is it? It's Anna-Sophia Robb moves. Doesn't he always live there, and then she moves to his school and moves in next door to him?
Yeah.
So it's not him that moves.
So she's the new one.
Yeah, she's the new one. So cool. It's Josh Hutcherson from like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And Anna-Sophia Robb. She's been in quite a few things, but I can't think of a specific thing that people really know her for outside of this film. Is kind of the thing that This is what I associate
Anna-Sophia Robb. Yeah, I don't know what she's done.
Yeah, she has done quite a few other things though. Also has Zooey Deschanel in it.
Yeah,
she's
she
the
was.
teacher.
Yeah. She is. And like, I'm gonna go straight to the spoiler of why I really like it.
Oh, right, yeah. No, this. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, this is a big spoiler.
It is a big spoiler.
This is the end of the film. If you haven't seen it, this is going to be about the end of the film.
This is literally...
Maybe you should do a little bit first before we go to the spoiler.
A little bit first. No, finish, because apart from the spoiler, it's a pretty normal film.
Going back to it, once you know the end of it, kind of changes it a bit as well.
It does, because...
Go for
without the end.
Spoiler now. Right.
Okay. So before the spoiler,
if you don't want to listen to any section of this podcast because there's spoilers, there's a link always in the description or whatever that tells you what time to skip to just go to the next section of the podcast.
Yeah. That's really clever. Who thought that? It wasn't me.
The internet did, and then I used it to my advantage.
No. Go on then. So, okay, the basic film it's quite a coming of age film with two kids finding themselves, exploring who you are.
Yeah.
The whole thing about, just expanding your horizons, being a little bit of an outsider, but finding that other people can be outsiders with you. It's just a very typical Disney telling you that life can always be good in some sort of way. Before we get to the ending, right?
Yeah.
It's in its respect, quite a good film for that. It's nice.
It's a good film.
But the ending makes it an amazing film.
Yeah.
It makes it an amazing Disney film as well, because it doesn't shy away from reality. Right?
Yeah.
So the ending, this is where the spoiler comes in. Basically, is it her that? She dies.
Yeah.
So she dies. She drowns, I think it was actually.
She drowns in the river.
She drowns in the river, which is dark. It's dark.
You don't see anything.
Which
in a way kind of makes it feel worse. If you had like a feeling of like, oh, she might die. There's none of that. It's literally he gets home from school and they're like, oh, by the way, she's dead.
Crazy.
And it's just like there's no closure. And it makes it so worse.
Yeah.
It's just like, shit, man.
It's gold. Imagine Disney doing that to you. This is why I love it. So that's exactly why I love it. There is no comforting thing about it, which is, oh, she's died and gone to a better place. You're going to meet her in heaven and all this bullcrap.
It's like our lives are ruined.
It's very real, man. It's so real. It's like, it is raw. For Disney, that is all selling dreams to everyone, selling fairy tales, and then they give you childhood death.
Yeah.
What?
I like as well. So, did you say really like? So the basic part of the film is that they make up like a fictional world.
Yeah.
And they start seeing all the creatures and stuff like
in
that.
The forest that they live
because
very close
he's
to.
kind of closed off. He's like he's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
And he's very creative, but he never talks to anyone about it.
Yeah.
Until he meets the other girl, and she's kind of similar. And then it makes him sort of develop his creative side.
Yeah.
And then they start pretending they're in the world there. But to get to the magical world, which is Terabithia, they go on the bridge. That's what's called the bridge Terabithia. But no, that's what I'm saying is where she dies is the bridge.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of worse than
how do you go back there?
Exactly.
Like, how do you? Yeah.
And he pushes over a tree, doesn't he, so that he can climb across. Because his little sister tries to come with him as well, and then he tries to stop her from coming because it's dangerous. And obviously his friend had just fucking drowned there. But there's something quite poignant about the fact that that's where she dies, is the bridge to get into the world.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Not like somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
Just the bridge to get there.
Wow, you know what? I never saw that as a that's even more dark, actually. Because with my thought, I thought, from what I remembered, I actually thought it was more she died whilst playing with one of the creatures. That was what was in my head. I don't know why, but I thought she was already in the world and she just died in there. And then obviously he doesn't see it. He's not there. He gets. And what is it? Why did she go back? Why did she go back into the forest? Anyways, I swear it was like she was upset or something, or he couldn't be there.
No, he couldn't be there. So he wanted to go. So Zoe Deschanel, their teacher, finds out that he's an artist.
And
then she says she'll take him to a gallery.
Yeah.
And he really wants to do that. He has sort of like a crush on her and stuff like that.
Who wouldn't?
Yes. So that's just nature.
Yeah. So
you don't need to imagine that.
Normal.
It's reality. But she says she'll take him to a gallery, and he's obviously well up for it, both because he likes art and he wants to hang around with Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
So he doesn't go and play with Anna Sophia Robb and go to Terabithia like he normally would. So she goes there on her own, and that's when she dies, is when he's at the gallery.
Yeah, which is also really dark. I was just looking at it very quickly. The original novel was based on events from the childhood of the author's son.
Oh.
Raw. That is actually ridiculously
also
dark.
Just looking it up as well, they had actually already made a film of it. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a remake.
Oh, was that a remake?
It says it was a TV movie. It wasn't a full release.
Yeah, but
in '85 they made A Bridge to Terabithia. But I just think it's weird. I didn't know it had been out before.
Right. So, anyways, I just want to say why this is a good film. Apart from the fact it's got definite, this is a good film. One, because it tackles all the things that Disney tackles. You know, bullying, isolation, being different. You know. But also being creative as well, because his biggest thing was his escape was his creations, it was his imagination, which for any kid, like especially for people like us creatives, you know, now it just spoke volumes. It was great. And then when he found someone, she was like, for me, she was the. You know, sometimes you get the girl is the point of interest who, you know, wants saving kind of thing. But she was his saviour. You got me?
Yeah.
She came into the picture and she gave him the confidence. She gave him the ability to kind of develop as a human, which is it's a great flip. That's a great flip on its own, to be fair. And this is all Disney, by the way, people. I'm just saying that it was Disney, right? Like,
yeah.
Cool. Because Disney's got a very odd kind of thing of like shying away from reality, you know, like it's all about fairy tales, and fair enough, it's Disney, you know, it's all about the point. Magic. About fairy tales. It's about the magic.
The vast majority of their stuff.
But even in their like live action stuff, it's a little bit like there's no substance sometimes, you know. It's very much this is just a kid's.
Sometimes there is an element of sing your problems away rather than confronting stuff.
Exactly.
Whereas they don't sing songs about her death.
No, I don't think that would do well for the film. To be fair, that wouldn't bode too well.
That really sad bit at the end where he sees her family moving away.
Yeah.
And they're driving away, and he chases after the car. If he'd got up to the car at the end and started singing instead, it would have been a very different ending to that film.
Yeah, so don't ruin it. So it very much sticks to, I guess, Disney's, you know, normal dialogue with regards to what it tackles, right? Yeah. But like I said, the real hero was actually both female characters, because the teacher, like you said,
they were both trying to help him.
They're proper, he was a depressed kid.
Yeah.
Like, let's face facts, he was in a really bad place.
And it was one of those things where it wasn't like he had a shit family, it was just like an unfortunate situation thing. It was a much more real version of it, where it was like he had a big family, they didn't have a lot of money, they couldn't really help him, but clearly tried. It felt like his mum always tried to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
And his dad would have bought him art supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't talk to them about it. Which is vastly more real than most.
It was. Because there was nothing, apart from the fact that they've got this whole imaginative world going on, there was nothing extremely extreme about that.
No.
There wasn't any crazy, and this is also why her death works so well, is because the film was in essence quite normal.
Yeah.
There wasn't any...
Oh, it was very unexpected.
Yeah, you know, there wasn't any crazy ploys or anything like that. There wasn't any crazy plot twist that came in.
To liken it to another film that more people will have seen or at least know, it's kind of like if the film Narnia, like the Chronicles of Narnia, if they spent most of it just outside of it, then went in for 10 minutes, and then when they came out, one of the kids died... That is basically what it is like.
Yeah, that's basically it. Because it didn't
one of them died in the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it was like.
Talk about skeletons in your closet. Oh, God. No, it was like that. Because they also didn't make Terabithia, like, they didn't make that dream world the main thing of this guy. You know, like, it was very much, this is just where they're going to escape.
It was just showing their imagination. It wasn't like... It wasn't too heavy on that side of it.
And even which
I think I remember there being poor advertising for it.
Yeah.
I remember it being advertised like it was so much about that. And I think that's not what was good about the film.
No, it's like the best thing about that film was how real it felt.
Yeah.
It was the rawness of it. And I feel like if it wasn't Disney, I probably would have looked at that film. It's a good film. It's alright.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it was Disney. It was the fact that I watched that when I was not too long from after it came out. So that would have been about 2008. I probably watched it. It came out 2007.
2007.
So I probably watched it the year after, right? So what were we? That's about 9 years? 9 years ago. So I would have been So I'm 24, 10 to 25 now. I would have been 16. 16, right? So 15. But I'm 10 to 25. Come on, man. So 15, 16, right? And as a 15, 16-year-old, was into like anime, and everything I watched was cartoons and quite extravagant things. Like dramas didn't interest me, in one bit. You know what I mean? There wasn't anything big on it. And just normal things, like I was like normal films, family films that I just really played down, weren't that interesting. But then I sat through this and I was like, whoa. This was one. It was gripping because it's about a young creative who was having a bad time, who then found a friend who was able to take him out of this dark area, who expanded his mind, expanded the way he thought.
Yeah,
which is that's a gold message alone. That could have done it. But then it was just a realistic value, and not too long before this. In fact, we actually, because our group of friends, we lost someone through a motorcycle accident. So like. There's a realism in kids losing friends that doesn't get touched on.
Yeah. A lot of drama things, if a kid dies, the focus is very much on how it affects the parents.
The parents, and
I can't think of many films that deal with like how it affects like the friend group when you're that young.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And like again, this is Disney, people. I'm seriously, I'm so disappointed there's not more Disney like this, you know what I mean? But yeah, so like there was so much that spoke about that situation. And I can't in my head think about another film that talks about the realness of childhood loneliness.
Yeah.
In such a great kind of platform, but also one that deals with childhood deaths.
Yeah.
Like it's just. I mean, to be fair, I am basing this whole thing on the fact that she dies. Like that's what does it for me. And obviously, that's what we base most good films on. Is the thing at the end. It's the cliffhanger.
I feel like if that hadn't happened, the film would have just been like it would still have been a good film.
Good film, but not.
But I think that really.
It brought something into it, man. It really brought a lot into kind of because I mean, like, look at what Disney's teaching you, man. Like Disney has this like. Wonderfully, yes, it teaches magic and it gives you an escapism and it's wonderful. But if you're going to be like one of the biggest platforms for kids to learn, you know what I mean? It's like if we look at literature, like was it Penguin or Puffin? Like if all of their books was just happy stuff, just this, everything's like then. Like it's, I don't know,
you need to learn the bad things.
You need to learn the bad things. You need to be shown that the world, as beautiful as it can be and as great as people can be in there, it's messed up. Like that, you will have tough times and you will lose friends at whatever degree. And one thing, like, you said there was no closure, but I think there was a bit of closure knowing that what she's done for him already. So imagine he didn't meet her, and maybe he lost one of his family members or one of his sisters or something like that, right? How would he have dealt with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how would he have...
I don't think he was developed enough to have done that. I think that's part of the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Her entire existence in the film is like preparing him for her own death.
Literally, you know what? Literally, literally that. It's literally the whole thing. I feel that whole journey that they had together was, you get that saying where, there are people in your life that are there for specific bits of your life. They're there to develop you in a certain way and whatever. She was there to help him cope with being alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like he had a renter friend.
Yeah.
Who was like, okay, I know what this feels like now, actually. I know what I can develop on my own. I know what I can run with this, but at least now, when I don't have you, I can still do my art. I can still talk to people. I can still go out and experience these other things that I wouldn't have, because before you was there, I was a recluse in my room, going crazy, being depressed, not thinking my family loved me. And you know what I mean? Like, she really developed him. Yeah. And then she died. But the closure for me is that journey. It's the fact that now the bridge, she died on the bridge, which I didn't recall that, actually. Like, because for me, I thought the whole place was tainted. But maybe the fact of she died on a bridge, like, you can look at it in this way where if he's able to literally cross that bridge, like, think of the metaphor of this. Crossing that bridge would literally be him getting over her death.
Yeah, which is what he does. He tries to go over the bridge, then his sister tries to follow him and he tells her not to. Yeah. And tries to get her to go back, and then she says, why won't you take me with you? He avoided friends for ages, then had this one friend, and that one friend died, and he always acted like no one else wanted him, and his little sister tries to follow him everywhere, and she starts saying to him, I want to go, take me over the bridge as well, I'll go with you. And then they both go over it. Yeah.
Oh, man. Like, I'm the more you record this, the more beautiful it gets.
It really helps that I watched this literally about
no, you know what? I haven't watched it for a couple of years.
It was just, it happened to be on, and I was like, I'll watch this.
I was saying me, actually, because I didn't set out to watch it. It was on. And like, I don't know, from the first instant, it kind of hit me for some reason. Maybe I was just like, because I was spending a lot of time at home at that time. So I was like, this kid's living a life.
It does, it does really say something about him as well, in the fact that he was more depressed at the start of the film than after, when his only friend had died. Yeah. Because he had developed so much emotionally that...
And that's like...
He knew how to deal with it better.
Yeah. And that's kind of... I mean, part of it is it sounds bad, but it's like, that's what you have to get out of people. You have to be able to... I don't know. Say God forbid, one of us was just not there tomorrow, right? And then it's like,
this it'll be tragic. Would be ruined.
Well, yeah.
It'd be very hard to do this with just one of us.
It's so hard to do it, man. I would request that you would have to re-record the theme song, because it would be weird if both of our voices are in there, but
just me twice.
Yeah, just doubling it up. Just put a higher pitch on it and be like, it's cool, we're done. No, but God forbid, but having things like that, things where you're able to then because our whole perception of life and the world is what we've been shown. We don't just develop a perception. We develop it through things that we've encountered, we've read, we've seen, right? Seeing something like that, and then there are other things that help you deal with, with deaths and just missing people in general, right? But something like that is able to, maybe more so for a young man, but that's a young person, so not just a man. Females can take lessons from this as well. It's terrible. Anyways, but for a young person, is just the fact that you can kind of put yourself in his shoe. You can say, you know what? It's so cheesy, but it's like, how did he deal with this? Look at how he dealt with this. You know what? He literally...
If this kid who's struggling with so much other stuff has literally this one friend who's now died, if they can deal with it, surely you can. And
surely
you've probably got more people around you than he did.
Exactly. And surely I've got a younger sister type person who also wants to then go on this new journey with. Exactly. And it's like, kids need more like that. Like, I just genuinely don't feel like there's enough of that kind of strong message or just realness for people under the age of 16, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, even some of the films, like like Marvel films and stuff like that. Look at the new Logan, right? Realness.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, cool. Am I allowed to spoil it for you?
Depends how much. You're going to spoil it for everyone else. It's kind of too new to bring up on the podcast.
Yeah, no. It is.
As much as whether you spoil it for me, I think you shouldn't spoil it for everyone else anyway.
No, there's a similar kind of premise there. But, okay. But anyways, the fact that and I can't remember if it had swearing or even nudity in it. So I'm not even too sure on that bit. But obviously it was given a higher rating. And I believe the reason it was given a higher rating was the story itself. Yeah. Once you see it, you'll understand what I mean. But I feel like things like that, kids should be exposed to. They should be taught how to deal with this. Like, because death isn't something that just happens when you're old.
No. It's definitely better to learn that kind of thing from a film than before it just happens to you.
Exactly.
People always say, well, get them a pet. When that dies, they'll learn about death. It's like, no, just let them watch films.
Yeah.
Because learning it when a pet dies is fucked up as well.
That is still like a lot of deep emotional baggage. Yeah. Like, the wonderful thing about stuff like Bridge to Terabithia is you know what that will do to you now. You know that, okay, there is a real possibility that I can lose a friend at the age of 13. Whoa. Yeah. I mean, like, and from random things as well. Like, she drowned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it happens I'm pretty sure in school as well. Like, not sure if you remember, Gio Spin? He went to Yeah. He could have lost his life.
Yeah.
At the age of 15, 16.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I mean, luckily it didn't, but I'm just saying, like, for everyone else around that, like, they couldn't believe it. Even when I saw him, because he was in my brother's year, so he's 2 years above me, right? Yeah. And then obviously he came back after 2 years of, like, recovering, right? It still shocked me to think that, whoa, man, like, he could be dead right now.
It's like, weird to think somebody is lucky to be alive
at the age of 16. Yeah. I
think that's part of what worked with specifically our age watching the film as well, is we're the same age as the characters in it as well.
Exactly.
Because I think when I watched it pretty much when it first came out. I don't know if I saw it in the cinema or just when it came out straight afterwards.
No, I watched it on Sky.
But I'm sure, I feel like I was 14 when I watched it, and they're both like 13, 14. Yeah. So I think our age as well, it was the right time for us.
Yeah.
We were very much its target audience.
Well, yeah, and rightfully so, because like I said, like, I feel that film really, it was very impactful for me. It was like, I think I probably got quite emotional when I watched it, in fact, actually, because I did get very attached.
I remember being very
I got very attached to it, but like I said, just recently, lost a friend not too far away from when I first watched it, and it's like, it puts things in perspective. No matter what lessons it teaches you, the one thing it does do is it puts things in perspective. Yeah. And like, that could be in a sense of, it could be a lot worse. I could be that guy who had one friend and lost him, or lost her. Or you could say, actually, if he can fight through, why can't I fight through? Yeah. And you could say, it's just a book or whatever. To be fair, me reading that it was based on the author's son's that's just... Again, but it makes it so much more real, so much more poignant, so much more like, this stuff happens, and we need to tell more kids about that. We can't.
I do think it also deals with like loss in more than one way as well, because as much as obviously the death is like a huge thing, but she's essentially like, as much as they're not like together in the film, she is essentially like his girlfriend, like they're close. Like, you could see that have been the end of the film. Like, you could see the end of the film being like, they realise, but then instead she dies. So it kind of has that kind of loss to it as well. And I think it's quite interesting as well, because they don't explicitly go in that direction with it. You kind of, it's just like an implied thing, because that's what you expect from films for kids and stuff like that. He's like crush on Zoe Deschanel. Zoe Deschanel's like whole thing that people associate her with is this idea of it's referred to as manic pixie girls. Like women who show up in film who are like quirky and strange, and then help the male protagonist sort of like understand themselves by falling in love with this girl. And that's what Zooey Deschanel is very much known for in a lot of films. It's also like that's what Natalie Portman is considered in like Garden State. I don't know if you've ever seen that. No. I want to talk about that film at some point. It's actually quite oddly similar themes in that. But it's essentially what Anna Sophia Robb's character is. She is essentially a manic pixie girl. She is this young artist girl who shows up, teaches him how to express himself and stuff like that. But he's got a crush on Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah.
But all along, really, she's exactly the same thing, but actually his age. So it's kind of the dual thing there, I think, is quite interesting as well. And obviously, when I first saw it, I was 13, and they're like 13, so I remember fancying the girl from that when it first came out.
Really? Don't remember fancying Zoe? Because I still remember.
Oh no, I probably fancied both of them.
I still
fancy Zooey Deschanel now, definitely.
Yeah. I'm just here scrolling through. Hey, Zoe.
Actually, I still fancy both of them now. I don't fancy her as the little girl in the film anymore.
No.
I fancy her as...
what? She grew
She's
up.
23. She's our age.
She grew up. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I remember liking her and then being like, that's the kind of girl that I wanted to hang around with when I was 13.
In the film,
and then she died. So you should kind of get that personal level of loss as well. You just killed my, at the time, dream girl.
Yeah. And she, you know what she was, man? She was like the perfect mix of tomboy for me.
Yeah.
Like she, well, I say tomboy.
No, she wasn't. She was what you actually want from that. She was not concept of a tomboy. Yeah, the tomboy. She was just, she did what the fuck she felt like doing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know, I hate.
That's what people refer to. I know you're trying to put it into terms that are more understandable.
Layman terms for all these. No, very much so. Like she was the free spirited, outgoing.
Yeah.
Like.
She felt like someone who would understand you.
Yeah.
Because
or wouldn't judge you at least.
Yeah.
Like
he was very much like who I felt I was. I wasn't like in his situation.
No, but whole
just like wanting to be artistic but not knowing how to express yourself.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people go through at that like teenage years.
Usually at that age as well. Which is why I'm like, why is there not more reflection on this?
Yeah.
You know what film's also really good for this? Is it Life of a Wallflower?
No. Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, watch it. Watch it, everyone.
That's similar.
It's an older generation,
Yeah.
obviously, because they're, I think, in American high school going on college, I think. So, they're all going to their universities, college. But again, just tackling the isolation, tackling the whole concept of being different, not knowing quite how to express yourself, and then finding people who are like-minded in a sense. Perks of Being a Wallflower very much touches on other things that are really good, like homosexuality and like male and female roles, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, very good, very good. But anyways, I think there is a lot for that age group, though. I think there is a lot for that going to university, just finished school.
There's
group.
definitely vastly more films. Most coming of... I don't know what coming of age actually fucking means.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that people say.
But
there are a lot more films that are like being 18 and then working out what you want to do with your life.
Exactly.
There are vastly less films. I can't think of another film other than Bridge of Terabithia that are about being like just starting puberty.
Yeah.
And then deciding then that you are creative and how you want to express yourself.
And like, what I don't get is like, what do people think? Like, kids don't go through this?
Yeah,
like, kids
just because it's not to go towards a career, it doesn't mean that like you don't have that on a personal level still.
Exactly. No, very much so. And like, again, even touching on what you just said, you start in puberty.
Yeah,
this is the point
it's
where
rough time
it's
anyway.
a rough time. Like, I mean, I still don't understand what happened to me in puberty.
No,
I still don't know what that process was.
Yeah.
I just know that there was acting, situations of acting out. There were situations where I was this or that. You know what I mean? Like, I just know it happened, right? And if you had more things to be like, this is going to happen. And because all we get told about puberty is, you're just going to become a rough, boisterous guy. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but that's just
it's so much stupid.
You know what I mean? Like,
you have to learn so many things, and it's not just like, it's not just how to behave as a person. It's not just emotionally. It's not just creatively. I remember at like that age, even in terms of like being funny, in terms of like comedy for me. Like, because that's the thing I'm interested in now, and I like writing things that are kind of funny and stuff like that. I remember being 13 and not understanding jokes properly.
Yeah.
I remember not understanding irony and saying awful things or writing awful things because I didn't get that nobody else knew I was being ironic.
Yeah, not understanding irony.
So I probably looked really rough at the time.
Dark days.
Yeah.
So all
this
that
kid is a terrible human being. But there's all these things that you have to learn then.
No, there is, dude, and there's so much that, and I feel like, I mean, like, think about it. When you think Disney, what do you get? Lion King does touch on death a little bit, obviously with with
Mufasa.
Like, they're fucking lions, and it's animated.
It's not as relatable.
It's not as relatable.
It's not as real. It is. It's like it's the nice dreamy version of everything, isn't it?
Exactly, and like. I feel like they could have easily done Bridge of Terabithia as a dreamy version again, especially as it involved a magical land.
Or cartoons.
Could have been, but the fact that there were real people, there were young kids, it made it feel so much more real.
Also, you got like fucking superb acting from some kids. Josh Hutcherson is like
real emotions
so good
there,
in that.
man. Real emotions in that, and like it wasn't overplayed. There wasn't like everything about it was like. Even the imagination bits, it made sense with the animation because it's like this is the imagination.
It's very well done.
Bringing it out.
It felt like their imagination and not like they've gone to a magical world.
Yeah, exactly.
It still felt like this was real, and you're just seeing what they see. Exactly. I even got that as a 13-year-old.
Yeah. No, very much so. So I'm really glad you watched this recently because it helps to have some more recent reference. I mean, because I'm drawing it out from like a couple of years back. So, but yeah, no, it's I just wanted to just say we need more films like that. To be fair, we need more films like Bridge of Terabithia. We need more poignant, real stuff.
I think we need to wrap it up. But one thing that we didn't really talk about that I think is interesting as well is the fact that he wasn't there for her when she died as well. I think is a big bit of it. Of the loss as well, that's a lot of to learn as well.
The regret factor, things
not regret that. It's out of your hands. People dying, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
you can't save people.
Yeah,
even if you're him in that situation where that's the person you care about most. Sometimes you're not there. Sometimes you can't save them. Sometimes even if you are there, you can't save them.
Man,
and that's like a lot, isn't it?
That's
really?
A lot, to be fair. Yeah.
That's a lot now.
That's yo, man. That got dark. But yeah, there we go. No, we need more Bridge Terabithias, and kids need to learn that death is real.
they do. It's about time.
Yeah. Especially with what's happening. Hate to be that guy, but the whole kind of Manchester thing.
Recently.
Like, that. Imagine how many kids are going through emotions right now, and like
who are unprepared for it.
Absolutely unprepared, and
Not that the film could like prepare you
to
any
that
degree, but I definitely feel like things like that would help you have more of an understanding of how to deal with it.
Yeah, at least a reference point.
Yeah,
just to be like, okay, that this is
a lot of films. Films many times help me with reference points for that kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so.
So I know that it's worked for me, so it must work for other people.
Yeah, no, I think so, very much.
Let's leave it there for the first section, and we'll be back after this very, very short break that is just a little music sting, and we'll start a new category.
Cool.
See you in a second.
Bye-bye.
It's a wonderful waste of time.
And welcome back. So let's spin that wheel and we can find out what we're doing in the second part. Are you ready?
Yeah, go on.
Sexy noises. Go.
I was going to talk through the spinning process. So the wheel is currently spinning and spinning and spinning. There are colours.
Stop!
And it stops now.
You again.
Whoa.
Doubles.
Whoa. Double D. And not that.
And the category you're going to be doing is... Go.
So the go button is green and it's been pressed. The wheel is still spinning.
the colours are red, blue, yellow, green, and they spin and spin to the point where they almost blend, but not.
It's become totally like a documentary.
Now the stop button is looking like it's going to be pressed very soon. There's a finger just floating above it. Yes. Oh, I forgot to say there was a orange arrow. Oh, and it's been pressed. Anything I get to. I'm going to talk about the way this wheel spins.
Just for the next half an hour, I'm going to continue talking like that.
How this wheel spins. Anything. You know what? It's always hard to just be like, hey,
you can look at your list and just pick anything off the list. That's the easiest way to do it.
That is the. Should we have a comparison of the new? Do you watch Cartoon Network recently? Have you watched Cartoon Network recently? Yeah?
I watched, yes, definitely.
Yeah? No, it's just, I thought maybe we could do a little old Cartoon Network
cartoons then versus now.
Yeah, because I actually think we was in a golden generation for cartoons.
A lot of people our age think that. So when you're saying, you mean the 90s?
Yeah, well, 90s to...
Cartoon Network existed before we did.
Yeah, no, of course.
But you're talking about 90s cartoons versus now.
90s up to, I'll say, about 2000 and... I'll say, like, the noughties rather than the 90s. Because the new generation now, which is maybe the Gumball era, basically.
Yeah.
That's before that kind of, the new... clean style of animation and very more moldy. Ugh, I hate it. I'm not a big fan. But
really?
No,
I don't think there's a vast difference in how cartoons are drawn now compared to the 90s. Really? I think a lot of things look very 90s now.
Really?
I think there was definitely a lull in the middle.
Maybe also Rick and Morty because they've gone with the
Which
kind of...
is not Cartoon Network at all in the slightest.
No. Oh yeah, well, I don't want to just say Cartoon Network.
Just cartoons
in general, but I just put it all as Cartoon Network. Because basically, I think after Danny Phantom, that kind of period...
My favourite cartoon.
Yeah, well, this is a good reference then. There's been maybe 3 that I've been like, yeah, I like that. Phineas and Ferb being one.
Mm. Yeah. Phineas and Ferb is good.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb is good, and it was just off the back of that era.
Yeah.
It was just off the back of that era.
Yeah.
And, but you know what it is? For me, though, and this is why I think I kind of need your input on this, is, yeah?
Oh, because I think from the sounds of this, I strongly oppose what you're about to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was going to ask you, why? Like, my thing is, why? What is it? And I know there is something. Maybe for me it's just because I'm not familiar with the new cartoons as much. So I'm like, okay, cool. They're not doing it for me.
Yeah.
But there must be something different. Like you, and as someone you probably watch more, like more recent cartoons than I do, if you get what I mean. So I just wanted to know why. I don't know, or what you think has changed within that kind of transition of gritty. That's one. I feel like these ones aren't as gritty. I don't think they get away with as much as well. Like, they're not as tongue-in-cheek. I think it's come out of it a little bit.
Yeah, I get what you mean with that.
And I think there's less...
I think it's done in a different way now. I don't think it's gone. I just think it's done in a different way than it used to be.
Okay, maybe it's not as blatant. Definitely not as blatant.
It's less brash than it used to be.
Definitely less brash. Maybe I like that, though. Maybe I like...
Because they do still... Like, people think that cartoons don't make silly and dirty jokes anymore. They used to when we were kids. And they weren't really intended for kids then.
They do in a sense. But I don't think...
Even in, like, Gravity Falls, there's a good bit.
Which one's
where
Gravity Falls?
Gravity Falls, the twins that live in, like... They live in the middle of nowhere in a mystery shack in the summer. They go and live with their great uncle. Yeah. Who they refer to as their gruncle. Yeah. Uncle Stan, and he owns it's like a little forest museum, but it's like a con. It's a shop, and then most of the stuff that's in there, he built it himself. Yeah. Stuff like that, and then there's all this like supernatural stuff that happens. It's a very, very intelligently put together show. It's about conspiracy theories. Okay. To its most base point, it's a conspiracy theory show. That's what it's about. It's very, very good. But there's a bit in there where they walk into a room and somebody says, this is terrifying, or something like that. And one of the twins, so they're called Dipper and Mabel.
Yeah, okay, I've seen something.
And Mabel says, you think this is bad, you should see Dipper's internet search history. That kind of joke still happens in there. So I was saying how I'm like strongly opposed to what you're saying. So to give my input on it, like quite quickly, I'm like very big into cartoons.
No, yeah, I know this.
I think, well, for a start, I think you're wrong. In general, that this isn't as good. I think that's nostalgia blindness, thinking that 90s cartoons are all better than current cartoons. I do think there was a period of time that was an unfortunate matchup for us where there weren't as many good cartoons. Yeah. And I think that put a lot of people out of cartoons. Yeah. When you said about Phineas and Ferb, I think there was a long time where Phineas and Ferb was by far the best cartoon on television.
Which is a problem.
Because it's good, but it should have had competitors, which it didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
It was in a time where it was pretty much that, SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents.
Nickelodeon took over, imagine. Yeah. Nickelodeon took over from Cartoon Network. Yeah. That doesn't make sense for me.
There should always be more rivalry between the two of them.
But what I think is the older I get, the more Cartoon Network should have been taken over. Because Cartoon Network had more adult content, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, even when I was... Because when I was younger, Cartoon Network had the gritty, Samurai Jack. Courage the Cowardly Dog, which is scary as fuck. Cow and Chicken, which made some dirty jokes, you know what I mean? Like, these were pre-adult stuff, right? I'm like, I'm vibes in. Then the older I get, I'm getting exposed to what? I'm getting exposed to really, like... I can't even bring the names. I can't reference anything because I literally switched off at that point. To the point where Nickelodeon, the SpongeBobs were taken over. The very soft... And don't get me twisted, SpongeBob had, still
there
had
was
its
definitely
jokes
some good SpongeBob.
I used to really enjoy SpongeBob. Fairly Odd Parents, I think, had very... With regards to the
it was a bit hit and miss sometimes, Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, very much so.
And I'm a big fan of Butch Hartman, but I do think Fairly Odd Parents, it wasn't very consistent.
No.
I think there's definitely some really funny parts of it, but
great parts of it.
It started to get worse towards one point, and then cartoons I think sort of made their revival. So I think there was like a 5-year period in which cartoons weren't as good. And I think that's when most people our age sort of zoned out of them and then forget about things.
That's the period I just went to anime. Like, literally, I just transferred over.
So people like compared 90s cartoons to now, and I think a lot of things that you think of as 90s cartoons, a lot of them are the 2000s. 2000 to 2005.
That's what I was saying.
Danny Phantom, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which is one of the best. That's an amazing cartoon.
I did like it, but I don't think... maybe this is just
that's one of the most creative cartoons that's been on. Since, now Gumball is by far the most creative show that's on.
Yeah, I don't think Gumball's that good, to be
fair. No, I don't think it's as good as a lot of other things, but it's incredibly creative.
Yeah, no,
the way that it's made is amazing.
Yeah, well... But I mean, my problem is... Okay, so, let's take Rick and Morty and BoJack.
I had a lot more to say, but go on.
Oh no, go. I'll bring you back to that one.
I was going to say, if you think about when the new cartoon started, Adventure Time started in 2010.
Cool.
7 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
So it's a lot older than you think it is. The gap is not as big as you think it is.
Yeah.
There is not this 10-year period of no cartoons. It was about 5 years and they weren't quite as good.
Yeah.
Outside of Phineas
and Ferb. But then again, you say Adventure Time, right? Which is, the untouchable, great piece of animation, whatever. But what was doing the same at that period?
Not as much. That was part of what sort of brought things back in. And then it snowballed back to the point it is at now.
Yeah. But even now...
But a lot of cartoons only come off of the back of other cartoons. There was a show called The Marvellous Misadventures of Flapjack, which was very much a hit and a miss. I've watched quite a bit of it, and it was quite decent. It was quite funny. There's a lot of it where there's little sort of Ren and Stimpy-ish bits and stuff that. Yeah. But it is what built Adventure Time. Loads of people worked on that show together.
Okay.
Pendleton Ward worked on that show at one point. Most of the people that are in the bigger cartoons now know each other. A lot of them went to school together.
Yeah.
And they all sort of fanned out and took over. So it started with Adventure Time and Regular Show and Gravity Falls, then Steven Universe. And all of this has expanded back into these weirder cartoons. And yes, there's shit imitators, things like Uncle Grandpa, which is...
What the hell is this?
It's just it's just going, people like surreal stuff now. And it's just really, I'm not a fan of that at all.
The whole
but we're back to a point where there's shows like We Bare Bears, which is just about 3 bears. And it's just this really nice slice of life shit, but with some bears.
What is that on there?
That's Cartoon Network.
Okay, cool. Because
Cartoon Network now has, I would argue, the better cartoons.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon very much at the moment is like live action stuff mostly.
Yeah.
Disney,
so they're getting back
Disney
to
XD is sort of the other cartoon channel now.
Okay.
But Adventure Time, regular show, Steven Universe,
but even those,
that's all Cartoon Network.
But even those, right? So is regular show, is it?
Regular show.
Yeah. Is that still on?
Yeah. No. So regular show finished, didn't it?
There we go.
Everything. We are at like a weird point now where things are starting to finish.
Yeah, and
but you're talking about the last 7 years, and you can't ignore how big these things are.
Okay, last 7 years, but you've given me quite I don't know. I still think it's quite a limited list. If you think of the variety that we had when we were growing up, where we had something like Cat and Dog. Which was like
Cat Dog.
Sorry,
did it?
Yeah,
Cat Dog.
Well, I don't know, man.
Cat Dog was alright. There wasn't like
it was alright, but it was freaky as hell. It was still very much adult content in a sense of some of the stuff they're meant to be pretty blue jokes.
There were some risque things and stuff then, which I don't think you need. I think we're just not doing that kind of style now.
I think we're treating kids more like kids now, basically.
I disagree. I really disagree with that. I think what was then what was then was in the 90s. I think most things were just comedy. Now I think people want story. Most things now are vastly more story in comparison to it. That's what people enjoy because the stuff that they can follow along with. Adventure Time has got like a very deep lore. Gravity Falls is so in-depthly done.
Right. Okay, Adventure Time I can't touch. I can't. Because I really like it. I went through the whole period.
The narrative of that is really in-depth. As much as it's an episodic thing, there's such a deep backstory to it.
Reoccurring characters that developed and stuff like that. Fair enough, but I don't think it's fair to put Adventure Time in this, Because I actually think, what's the word I'm looking for? Anomaly? I think it's an anomaly. I think it was one quite rarely good cartoon in a period where the rest just weren't matching up. And I think it's more so for that period. I do think
Adventure Time was what brought a lot of good cartoons back.
Yeah, and I think the good cartoons for me now are Adult Swim. They're not aimed too much at kids.
If you consider the fact that you're an adult, and Adult Swim seems to appeal to you more now. What do you like on Adult Swim, though?
Don't give me that.
Samurai Jack and... I would argue...
Well, Samurai Jack's just come back anyway.
Samurai Jack and Rick and Morty. What else? That's two things. That's not enough to say that's far better. Robot Chicken's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I can't really give you any more straight references like that.
No.
But those are you can't say it because I'm old. Because
but you are. You've changed.
Look, I've changed. I've obviously my sense of comedy has changed, and what I find funny and entertaining has changed. Yes, I get it, but I know for a fact the cartoons I liked then were more in tune with because even Samurai Jack at that age, it wasn't really for kids.
No. Samurai Jack is very much like an art piece in many ways.
No, it's great animation for the time as well, I think. Still, I haven't seen the new ones, unfortunately, but at the time it was just visually great. Storyline was epic, it gave me more, like you said, the old comedy. No, it gave me more than comedy. It gave a lot more. And remember, I'm talking about an age where if we're going to bring a little bit back, we've got the Hanna-Barbaras, the Looney Tunes. We were spoiled. We were spoiled for the real comedy shows. You know what I mean? The real comedy shows, Wacky Races.
There was definitely a lot more cartoons being produced then. I agree with that.
And but a lot more different styles as well. Literally, they were pulling stories out of their arse and it worked,
Yeah.
Whereas now I think there seems to be quite a level kind of they've got a formula now, which is it's either a creature's world or aliens. There's no realism of this, just humans doing humany stuff but making it funny. There's no Simpsons element to it anymore, really.
I don't think there was then either. It was always just animals doing the human things.
No, the ones I've just apart from
what? Which ones have you said? You haven't said any.
What?
That you haven't described any that are like that.
That are not animals.
That are humans doing just human things. Samurai Jack is a human who travels through time to fight robots.
Yeah, but it's still a
Dexter's
human.
Lab is about a boy science genius.
Yeah, but it's still a human.
It's not doing human things. The most human cartoon that came out in the 90s was Rocko's Modern Life.
Rocko's Modern Life, I can't remember that.
It's just about his everyday life. If that's what you're looking for, that was that. Now, We Bare Bears is a very similar thing. I do agree that there were vastly more cartoons in the 90s, just in general.
Even the Pink Panthers,
Adult Swim and stuff like that. Now, Rick and Morty is like an amazing cartoon. But so many of their other things just aren't really there compared to going back to the 90s. Things like Harvey Birdman and Aqua Teen Hunger Force were so much better.
But this is my point.
No, but you're still not listening to my point of it, which is that you can't say that now versus then, because that's not how anything works.
Of course. Yeah, no. Of course. Like, there's not a
lull. If there wasn't this gap of 5 years, you wouldn't be comparing now to then. It would just be the continuous existence of cartoons. This is what I've been trying to say since you started this.
How about this then?
As a topic.
How about this then? My generation ruled. This generation fucking sucks for the cartoons. How about that? I'm just gonna put it. That's it.
You're just the sad Gen 1er.
Cool. No, that's just the bottom line of it. Then, isn't it? That is the fact that screw you, kids. You're being cheated. I had some great cartoons. I had a vast, so much selection.
There's a lack of production for those kind of cartoons now.
But if we just bring it back to the Looney Tunes then, because this is like.
See, I think you hold this kind of stuff in high regard as well. Most of the Looney Tunes and stuff like that you probably watched at that age came out before the 90s.
Yeah. No, of course.
That's
there
all
were a lot of
syndication.
older. Yeah. There were a lot of older. I do understand that, but. What I also understand is if you look at what they're doing now with regards to I had it in my head just now and it's just all gone. Now it's just switched to what are they called? The Small Justice Leagues. What are they called?
Small Justice Leagues.
Yeah, I know.
The Justice League.
You know,
the Teen Titans.
Teen Titans. That's the one.
The old Teen Titans was better than.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, the old stuff was always better than it was whatever.
But you could say that about anything because you cherry pick the good bits. This is what nostalgia is. To say that all the old stuff was better is the same as people going, I like tradition. Do you remember when things were easier on me? That's exactly the same thing.
I think it's real with cartoons because I genuinely feel like there's a poor selection for cartoons. Like, I feel like if I was growing up as a kid today, the cartoons wouldn't give me the same type of wit. They wouldn't give me the same type of... like I said, a tongue-in-cheek kind of that sense. They wouldn't give me the same... Maybe they'll give me a bit more sense of adventure with regards to the very much more space.
Talking about wit and comedy, I still think that is hugely... That's so much a thing that's still in cartoons.
Yeah, comedy.
Just because there's less shows doesn't mean that they're not still doing that.
Yeah, well, maybe I just want more to do that. Talk about that, huh?
I agree with you. I definitely wish that there was more funding into cartoons in general. I wish that Nickelodeon wasn't putting all its money into poorly written sitcoms for kids.
Yeah.
And we're putting more money into things like Danny Phantom and stuff like that. Because even going into the 2000s again, that's when things started to break down and split off.
Yeah.
When there was stuff like Danny Phantom, which was amazing. But most other things split into I would think of as two categories. Superhero things where there was X-Men and Spider-Man.
But again,
or Young Justice and stuff like that.
The X-Men and the Spider-Man from back day compared to what they're doing now. Come on, that's
no, definitely. Because they're trying to remake the same thing again. And the other side of it, if you can let me finish my point, because you keep interrupting me to repeat the same thing again. The other side of it was things like Billy and Mandy and Invader Zim, creepy stuff.
Zim, actually.
So it kind of split into superheroes and creepy stuff, and then fizzled out. Because what do you do after that? How do you carry on making the same show? There were becoming less and less shows then, and they all started falling into these couple of categories. I do think it is just a case of there was less money being invested in that kind of stuff. That's why there was less groundbreaking stuff being made. There was less opportunities. Because even then, being creepy was its own form of groundbreaking, but prior to that, everything else was this similar vein of stuff. It's just more stuff got made.
You think? Similar vein of stuff?
Yeah.
Cartoon Network?
Yeah, 100%. I love 90s cartoons.
But you think
they are not as varied as they are in your head. No.
What? Like, okay, like, how? What? They're like, I couldn't pick two that, you know, even the superhero stuff, but they're the superheroes. But like, I couldn't pick two Cartoon Network cartoons that were like, go on, I can see the smile and
because you're listing all these things, but everything came out in 15-minute segments, which they don't now. There's a lot more time to fill up now. Everything comes out in pretty much half-an-hour slots.
Yeah.
Back then you had Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
Very similar shows.
No, but those
they're different, but
anyways.
But exactly. They're linked, but you're listing two shows that is one show split in two.
Oh, I don't know. Pinky and the Brain was very much their own entity, man. They were very much their own entity,
because you remember them as two separate stories, but they were still a very similar style of comedy, a very similar style of show, and that's why they were literally paired.
Animaniacs
Cow
had
and Chicken, I Am Baboon. They were paired.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab. All that kind of stuff.
How are you going to put Johnny Bravo
are very
and
similar.
In the same... What?
They are very similar styles of comedy.
Creepy guy on the beach trying to...
Just because they're different concepts does not mean they're not similar shows.
They're not. They're not.
They are.
Of course they're not.
They're a similar style of humour that was in a lot more 90s cartoons. All of those.
Okay. There's clearly gonna be an overarching sense of humour because that's gonna be the humour of the decade or of the era. That you can't argue that because that's how everything works on TV. You know, there's always gonna be a similar kind of formula, if you like. Fair enough, but I had more to work with, right? And I think I had more good stuff to work with.
This is what I'm saying to you, and I've said it 3 times.
I know you've said it.
And you don't seem to be taking it on board.
I know you said it, but I also feel
quantity.
It doesn't quite match quality. I get it.
Exactly. Just because there are less good cartoons now doesn't mean those aren't as good.
No. That's not the problem. I'm not saying the cartoons now.
That's what you've said.
Oh, no. I'm not saying no cartoon now is as good as the cartoons then. No, that's just silly.
That's what you've said.
No.
You've said that 3 times, and that's why I'm getting annoyed.
No.
Because you've said that, and now you're agreeing with me about the thing I've had to explain to you for half an hour.
That's not the point I was trying to make. I'm sorry, everyone.
There are less good cartoons on right now.
That was my
point.
I
agree with that.
Okay, cool.
If that is what you said at the start,
that's my point.
Then we would have been totally on board with each other.
No, okay.
There are cartoons now are similar to each other. Like Adventure Time and Steven Universe are quite similar.
Yeah, I haven't seen Steven Universe.
I can't figure off the top of my head. But there are similarities and there are waves of what people like, and then people do similar types of things because that's what gets greenlit. But the fact that there are less shows doesn't mean they're not as good. And there are more adult cartoons being made now. That's where a lot of the money went, I feel like.
You think?
Or things like Family Guy.
But those don't even get like the...
But it's not their airtime. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like in terms of like Cartoon Network and the channels.
Yeah. But just with regards to what...
In terms of who's willing to pay to make those things.
It's more directed at...
Because you've got to think, it's not the channel. The channel is owned by someone else and owned by someone else.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network is owned by Turner, who is Time Warner.
Okay. Cool. So
if you're putting money into Cartoon Network, then you're taking money out of the Looney Tunes, for example.
Okay.
So every time some money is going into one cartoon, it's being taken away from something else that is a potential idea. And if more funding's being put into adult cartoons, then there's less into the kids and stuff like that. If they're putting money into sitcoms with kids for Nickelodeon because they can pay less animators to save themselves money, that's why those kind of things don't get made.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. But I still think people in this generation are getting cheated.
I don't think they're getting cheated. I think it's unfortunate that there aren't as many cartoons on.
Yeah, but that's an issue.
I don't think you can say that that's them being cheated. No one is taking that away from them. It's just that they're being cheap. They're not investing money. That's not them cheating them. It's not that kids are being cheated now. It's that you were being spoiled.
Ah. Okay.
It's not that.
Okay.
It's not. That's how business works.
You say that. Okay. You say that. Okay. You say I've been spoiled. I want them to be as spoiled as I was.
I agree. I wish
want them to
there
be
are so many good ideas
because...
for cartoons that I wish that were being funded. There are so many great creators. We're still the same people from the 90s that want to make shows right now. Some of them are getting shows and some of them aren't. There's a couple of shows that are coming out soon that are all the same people. Obviously, like what were you talking about earlier? Samurai Jack coming back. Stuff like that. People like that getting money. I struggle to imagine that there aren't many other people that work in it that don't want to make something else. Craig McCracken has Wander Over Yonder going off of the back of his old style of stuff. It's like quite different, but it's whether they get funded for it. Butch Hartman's only just got a new show.
Cool, it's right. It's not their fault. I get it. It's not their fault.
It's not like there aren't people trying to make these shows.
I'm not saying they're not trying. I'm just saying I'm not seeing. That's all it is. That's all it is. And it's no one's fault apart from whoever's not funding it. I get it. But it doesn't change the fact that we did have
more cartoons. Not better cartoons.
More cartoons. We had more quality cartoons. Like, that doesn't mean there's no quality cartoons now. There are definitely quality cartoons now. Like, we've listed quite a bit. And like I said, I've been a fan of some of them myself. But I feel like we had more good cartoons to work with. Mm-hmm. Whereas they don't now.
No, I agree with that.
Okay, cool.
If that is how you'd
that would have been
a
short conversation, but then it would have been as fun for everyone to look at all the sides of it. So there we go. But no, it is that, and actually you've explained it quite well. Actually, I genuinely feel like I've got a better understanding of that, which is that pay them, give them money to do good shows, because again, these are things that kids need, man. Like, I feel like people are being cheated because having such a vast, like, animation's about imagination. It's about, it's about thinking outside the box a lot.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't you have more of that? Why shouldn't you be exposed to more people? And obviously it's no fault of anyone trying to make it. Of course people are always trying to make shows like this. But I think people are being cheated if they're not given that. Okay, maybe we were spoiled then, whatever. But, like, it doesn't change the fact that we was exposed to so much more imaginative kind of entities than people now, which is a shame. We're going to get robots at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We're going to start getting kids who literally start thinking the same.
But the kids now, as much as you're saying that they've got less, kids now are so much better off with the amount of cartoons that we've got now compared to between 2005 and 2010. Where there was such a limited thing. Yeah. It's because it's off the back of things like That's So Raven and stuff like that. That's So Raven led to things like Zack and Cody and all that kind of thing, where I didn't hate that kind of thing.
I get what you
but
mean.
That's cheaper to make than hiring shitloads of animators. Because as much as those kids are famous now, those kids probably worked for fuck all money then.
Yeah.
So it's much cheaper to make those shows and to put those out, and that's what kids wanted. That's So Raven was incredibly popular. So why wouldn't they keep trying to make the same show? And that's what Nickelodeon got filled up with in copies of Disney programs.
Yeah.
Disney was the successful version of that.
And then it just filtered down to...
And it just became all the money going into that. And that's less airtime and less money to be put into the imaginative stuff. Because they didn't think that that's what people want.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's a shame. I watched...
No, I think we're now in a place where there are more cartoons being funded. I don't think they're all good. I think it's kind of building itself back up again.
Would you say Adventure Time very much was the kick-off of that?
I think that brought things back a lot.
That was
I think that's when people were like, oh shit, we can make money off of this, and started investing money into the people that wanted to make cartoons.
Cool.
I think things like that and like My Little Pony...
Oh my god!
That's what brings the money back, because people see how much money they can make off of it. That's what producers need to see.
You're telling us so like
You're taking the magic away, man. It's all about money. What?
This is how every television show works.
What? No.
There is money involved.
I thought it was all about the love of craft and just making people.
It probably is
good.
for the creators of the show.
Yeah.
But for the 100 animators, not 100, that's a bit dramatic. But for all the animators, they probably want to get paid also.
Yeah, I'm guessing that you can't just draw to pay your bills. You have to draw and get paid.
To pay your bills. Otherwise, it's not paid your bills. It's just bills.
It's just bills. Yeah.
It's just.
Or you can frame the bill. You can frame the bill. Give it back to your landlord and say, "Sell that. It's art."
There's money right there. I drew that.
See that signature at the bottom? Yeah.
I think we are diversifying again in the way that we make cartoons, because I do think there are a lot of imitators of Adventure Time. Yeah. And I think now we're going back into a place where we're becoming more diverse. And I think things like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
actually, if anything, BoJack Horseman is the most similar thing to Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one.
You should watch Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah. It's a bit more surreal and weird, but it's not as like plain life. Like BoJack Horseman is very much just like a normal life, but everyone's animals.
How many seasons?
It's a lot weirder.
Very quickly. How many seasons of BoJack is there?
3.
So it is just 3. Yeah. It is just on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm waiting.
It's Netflix. It's Netflix produced.
Okay.
So if it comes out anyway, it's going to be Netflix first.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Rocko's Modern Life was kind of a similar. Like, it was him dealing with doing normal shit, but then it all got a bit surreal.
Yeah.
But it's things like him trying to go to the gym and people making fun of him and stuff like that.
This is a cartoon?
Yeah.
Dark!
What? It's like normal shit, but funny.
Yeah. No, to be fair, though, if you was explaining BoJack to someone, they would be like, it's a bit...
but if everyone's got jobs, like, we're running out of time, but...
Yeah.
The amount of people that you don't realise worked on the stuff in the 90s that ended up with shows because they worked with those people.
Yeah.
That's how everyone gets into from doing older things. Like, Butch Hartman worked on the original My Little Pony.
Yeah. What did he go on to do after My Little Pony?
I can't remember what I don't know what the next thing would have been.
No, but obviously...
Butch Hartman's Billionfold. So... Danny Phantom, Fairly Odd Parents. His new show's called Bunsen is a Beast that starts soon.
My Little Pony, fair enough. Sick.
Rocko's Modern Life. I think Steven Hillenberger works on it, who's SpongeBob.
Yeah. Cool.
Jeff Swampy Marsh, I think, worked on that, who is Phineas and Ferb.
Swampy Marsh?
Yeah. He does Phineas and Ferb. The amount of people that worked on previous things, and that's how... Swampy's his nickname.
Okay, cool. So
it's Jeff Marsh.
Oh, right, thank God.
Swampy's his nickname. His surname isn't Swampy Marsh.
I was that poor kid. Imagine getting through school with that. Sorry, Swampy.
All of these people got stuff off the back of it, so that's how they end up doing things.
Yeah. He must have got a lot of work because he was...
He made Phineas and Ferb, which, as we've said at the time, was the biggest cartoon on television.
His nickname just killed me. Right, so I think we can end this knowing that I was right.
No. From the first thing that you said was wrong, and you've now reworded it to agree with me.
I haven't. All I had that was old Cartoon Network versus new Cartoon Network, right? So that doesn't.
That's not what you said. So I don't care what you've got written on your phone. You said that 90s cartoons were better than current cartoons, which you now agree was incorrect. There were more cartoons.
There were more better cartoons.
Put it this way:
there weren't.
Cartoon channels were better in the 90s.
Okay, cool. That's what that.
The production of cartoons was better in the 90s.
That is exactly it. Which is why I said old Cartoon Network. Not old cartoons, Cartoon Network.
You did immediately change it afterwards. But yes. If that's what you meant to say, what you meant to say was correct. What you actually said was
okay, no, you worded it better, which is cartoon channels.
Yeah.
We're better.
As a whole,
we're better. Yeah. No, that's. You know what? I'll leave it as that. Thank you. Thank you for summing up my...
Have you got any shout-outs off the back of that? Either to do with the death of children, which was the first half, or the death of children's television, which was between the years 2005 and 2010.
Oh, no.
The day that Danny Phantom and Invader Zim ended, and it all went to pot.
Was there... Oh, you know what? I don't know the day...
Invader Zim is
Jack
spectacular.
Which one's Invader Zim? You know,
Invader Zim.
I want to shout out... There's an amazing poet out there called Usama, and he's very much on kind of the death of the human being. It's just that, the death of self, you know? I'm going to get his spelling right because he's just been absolutely smashing, and I mean smashing all the open mic night circuits for poetry, and he's just been doing some great stuff, so it's only right that I give him the shouts that he deserved. So if you just literally type U, as in Y-O-U, and then Sama's S-A-A-M-A, you can just type that into Instagram. I'm on his Instagram now, and then you'll get all his links there. Amazing poet. And like, I'm a big-headed guy, so usually I'm the best poet in the room. But he is like, it's levels. So yeah, I'll shout him out, man. Usama all day.
My shout out is something you can go and watch right now. There's a cartoon short. A lot of what we talked about, like very real life stuff. There's a cartoon short called Welcome to My Life that is on Cartoon Network. You can go and watch it right now online. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually been on the channel, but it's Cartoon Network produced.
Okay.
It's about like a monster boy living in like human school, like human world.
Okay.
It's like a very documentary style.
Yeah.
It's like very normal. It's not like super funny. It's just very real and interesting. It's just nice. I'd recommend that.
Cool.
He's called T-Cash. So if you stumble across something else that's called Welcome to My Life, the one I'm talking about, he's called T-Cash.
T-Cash.
That's his nickname in that. It's very good. I'll show it to you after we've finished the podcast. But yeah, definitely, I recommend that. I watched it. I saw it pop up on Facebook or something on Cartoon Network's Facebook, and just thought I'd just watch it for a second, and then got really absorbed into it. It's like 9 minutes long, and I watched the whole thing and was like, I would love to watch this as a series. Just like really normal kid's life, but he's got to deal with the fact that he's a monster, so he's like an automatic outcast, and how people behave around him.
Go.
Nice. Have you got a question? Today's podcast.
You know what? I'm just gonna keep it easy for this one.
Go for it.
What was your least favourite cartoon?
Least favourite. Harsh.
Yeah. Slag him off.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was? If so, just tell me what the least favourite cartoon was.
Or should it just be least favourite in general, or because there's a lot of like cartoons. Least favourite popular cartoon, I think, would be more.
Oh, so like everyone else. Would have
something that like people like, but you never got.
Yeah. Okay.
You never got into.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think if there was a cartoon like that for me, actually. Leave that in the post. And then...
Leave that in the post. Send that over to me. You can leave it as a message on our SoundCloud, on our YouTube.
There we go.
You can write a review instead because you can't leave comments on iTunes.
There we go.
If you want to email us a personal question or tell us how amazing we are, you can email that to awonderfulwasteofemail@gmail.com. Yes, that's our email address. Did you not know that? It's always been our email address. I don't think I've ever said it in a podcast, but it's awonderfulwasteofemail@gmail.com. So you can write us a review, subscribe, follow, do all that. We're on Instagram and Facebook. Tell someone else about the podcast. And let us know what you thought about what we've talked about in this one in some form of comment section. Any final words? No, just going to laugh at the email address.
It's so good.
That's it for this episode. We'll see you next time. We'll be doing a top 5. Goodbye.
Bye.
It's a wonderful